Just 8% of the business angel in Europe are female. And we know because of the unconscious bias that men invest in men. So we need women to invest in women.
Get Inspired, your podcast for more inspiration and your business talk about how to connect, how to empower, and how to get inspired. With amazing guests interviewed by Ricarda, our founder of My Collective.
In the last installment of this year's Financial Spring Clean at My Collective, I'm talking to Katja Ruhnke, author of the book Female Money, whose investment fund was set up specifically to back impact startups. She's learned from her personal experience that anyone can become an investor, and that the experience of investing in a startup can grow your own career too. So let's find out how. Katja, thank you so much for being with us at My Collective today. I would like to introduce you a little bit. Our paths have crossed a long time back. You're originally from an entrepreneurial family, but you have not chosen at the beginning to go into the family business, but to be in the creative field. So you started as a musical singer, your career, but then went back to the family business and also started CK Ventures together with your sister, which is investing in startups from, I would say, blockchain to farming. And you will tell us more about what other companies you're investing in. So it's quite broad. And you're also very active on not only promoting your own startups in the portfolio, but also the fact that female investors should become way more courageous. There should be more female investors, and also investing in companies, not only, but also by female founders. So you're going out there and you have published a book about your own journey, Female Money. And that's exactly where I would love to start. So the main thesis of the book, from what I understand, is anyone can become an investor. What does that mean, Katja? I mean, in terms of skills, budget, how does that work?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Ricky, for having me tonight in My Collective, because I have to tell you, Ricky and we have a really long story. It goes because we went to school together, actually, and I think we never thought that we will have this conversation 20 years later. So it's really funny that we are sitting here together, both in the same startup area now. Yes, I wrote this book because when you look at my career path, it was not very straight, because I was on a musical theater stage for 10 years, and that's not normally the classical career path in business. But yes, I studied culture management, and I worked 10 years now in our companies, in real estate companies in Germany. But when I came in contact with the startup scene, for me it was, my imagination was absolutely wrong what a startup is and where I can found a startup. I was always thinking about the Höhle der Löwen. I think almost everyone knows what Höhle der Löwen is. And I always thought, okay, you have to be a CEO of a DAX concern, you have to be a home shopping channel, and you have to sales structure from here to USA that you can help startups. And that's absolutely wrong. So everyone has to give something for a startup, because a startup is a small world. And you have a lot of positions and a lot of things to do. It's not just only about the product and about selling the product. It's also about the company culture. It's about HR. It's about marketing. And for me, yes, when I started with my sister, the investment, it was just, okay, I can help. In every startup, for me is a place, even if I have no idea about the product or what they are doing, because it's very complex. But they have always themes where especially women have a great impact there. So that's why I say, okay, everyone can invest in a startup, and everyone is really, really helpful for startups, every investor. And you have a lot of different skills.
You're meaning in terms of skill set, right? So this is mentoring and investing, obviously, at the same time. But that's really great that you say that you can, with any kind of background and any kind of skill set, basically, you can mentor. But then when it comes to investing, you also do need a bit of a budget, right?
For sure. Yes, for investing, you need a bit of a budget, but I think it's much lower than the most of you think, because when I also watched Höhle der Löwen, I always thought, okay, you need hundreds, thousands of euros to start in an investment. But you can start with 5,000 euros. So that's mainly the same when you're starting to invest at the stock market. So mostly you go then over, for example, Prime Crowd or Companisto. It's a kind of crowdfunding where you have a trustee and you invest all together.
So you were mentioning crowd. You were mentioning a couple of sort of, let's say, conglomerations. So you basically, you go to areas where you work or you sit with other investors, other business angels and learn, right? From sitting and seeing one pitch after another and kind of seeing how they are doing the due diligence, right? And you were just mentioning you were part of a couple of them, right? That are also especially looking at female investors. I mean, you mentioned Prime, but I think maybe also Encourage Ventures. Can you say a little bit about how that works, how the collective learning process works?
Yeah, that's a good thing because you never do the investment alone. You have a lot of investors in one round. You have these rounds between pre-seed and series A, B, G, D, E, F, G. So, but normally the angel investments are between the pre-seed and the series A. And there, when you invest in a startup, normally you have 3 till 5, sometimes even 10 investors. And you learn from each other. So, and you help each other and you discuss about the contracts. So it's not a startup investment, it's really teamwork.
Yeah, that's really true. Looking also at the title of your book, you're focusing a lot also on female investors. Why is it important that women are investing? I mean, there generally is a trend that wealth is moving into the hands of women. In the next 10 years, there's probably the majority of wealth in female hands, and they will invest differently. So why is it important for women to invest?
The first thing why it's so important for women to invest is because we have 2 less female founders out there. We have just 16% in Germany, and just 8% of the business angel in Europe are female. That's, for me, it's still horrible. And we know because of the unconscious bias that men invest in men. And so we need women to invest in women. And that's very important because we know women will not have the same possibility to raise the money like the men out there. And that's the first thing. We need more women who invest in startups, because then we can have the chance that we have more female founders in Germany.
Female founders are also more successful, no? Or
absolutely, yes. I always say this in every panel, especially when there are a lot of men there, but they are not very happy to hear it. Yes, but the companies with female founders are more successful and more sustainability. First of all, that's very important. And the second thing is that we need more capital in the impact startup scene, because women want to invest more sustainable. Impact is more important for women. And we all know what's outside in the world. We have a lot of problems: climate, environmental, poverty, everything. The water, our seas are more waste than water at the moment. And we need all these impact startups out there, that they have enough money and that they have enough network and enough power to grow. And then they can have a real impact, because small companies have no impact. So we have to be sure that these good companies are growing bigger and bigger.
And that's probably also one of the main drivers for you, right? To have an impact on society or on the challenges that we have in our society, and a leverage through business models.
Absolutely. We, in our investment portfolio, we have only impact startups there. It's very, very wide open. So we have pest control, we have blockchain in SSI, the self-sovereign identity. We have financing African founders. We have some medical themes in the startup. We have smart farming. So it's really wide open, the portfolio. For me, that's one of these, what makes me so enthusiastic about it, because you see so much things out there. You see so much innovation. And I always say, in the morning, I open the newspaper and I think, oh God, the world will break in the next 2 months, and everything is going down. And then in the afternoon, I'm going to a startup pitch and I see, no, everything is going fine because we have these founders, we have these ideas, we have the innovation out there. And for me, it's absolutely great to see this, and it makes me happy, and it makes me feeling powerful because I think, okay, I can help, I can really have an impact on this world, not just by sitting there and waiting what's happening.
So in a way, this is the impact on society, but then it also has an impact on yourself, right? In terms of you're happy by the end of the day, but then also, what it doesn't do probably, this angel investment, it doesn't replace your financial sort of, let's say, planning in terms of pension funds and insurance and all of that.
No,
right?
no, absolutely, because it's
asset class.
Yeah,
it does give you, I mean, I can totally see it. It gives you inspiration and kind of, but also networks and new skills, right? So it seems like it's an added value in terms of skill set also.
Absolutely. First of all, I have now a network in 2 years. For me, it's incredible which people I know because I investing in startups, because there are a lot of very, very interesting people, but in high positions. You get skills in every business you can imagine, because we're doing pest control, we're doing digital health, we're doing blockchain. So sometimes I'm spreading my fingers in every area of the economy. And for me, that's very, very important, the network. And to learn, I always learn. Every day I learn new things.
So let's put ourselves in the shoes of, let's say, not total professional investors, but maybe more from a perspective of what can investing in startups actually do for your career that you already have. If you want to keep your job, let's say corporate careers, what's the impact that investing in startups can have on your own corporate career?
First of all, network for me, but also you get more and more wide open. You learn about a lot of entrepreneurial skills because you see it and you work with the founders all day. You're in a very, very early stage. And that's for me so interesting, that you learn so much out of your box, out of your comfort zone. So I think it's very good in your job, because you have new ideas, you have maybe your own innovations. We're saying, oh, okay, and maybe we can do it in my own area, and in my own job I can do new things. So you make your mind very wide open.
It's the entrepreneurial and innovative spirit from the startup scene that can maybe sort of help you, maybe also even in terms of positioning your own personality and your own position in the career environment. Katja, thank you so much for sharing all of these insights, and I wish you good luck for your book. It looks very promising from what I've seen last week, the kind of hit it already was. So that's really great. Can I end with one question that we ask to all our Impulse speakers? We, and my collective, we work a lot on, we look a lot at what are the kind of parenting skills that you get as a mother or father in parental leave, because we in my collective, we focus on parental leave, right? And we're convinced that during that time, there are lots of skills that you can develop. One is obviously also looking at your finances again and kind of using the time that you have there. But what would be important for me is, what kind of parenting skill did you get as a mother that you could convert into a leadership skill? Maybe you can share something from your own experience as a mother.
Okay, for me, what I really learned as a mother was resilience, flexibility, and real multitasking, because I thought before I was a good multitasker, but now I know it was just faking multitasking. Now it's really multitasking, doing everything at the same time. And I think courage, because for me, it's raising a kid. It's the hardest thing I ever did.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Katja. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.